Tatiana Doyle.
Number 2, Tatiana Doyle.
Number 3, Emmy Ellis.
Number 3, Emmy Ellis.
Number 5, Madison Ruggles.
Number 5, Madison Ruggles.
Number 8, Angel Mangalang.
Number 8, Angel Mangalang.
Number 9, Cariana Gamblin.
Number 9, Cariana Gamblin.
Number 10, Jaylene Lilly.
Number 10, Jaylene Lilly.
Number 12, Hannah Solis.
Number 12, Hannah Solis.
Number 13, Ariana Shorter.
Number 13, Ariana Shorter.
Number 15, Reagan Oakley.
Number 15, Reagan Oakley.
And number 17, Jasmine Ward.
Number 17, Jasmine Ward.
Now make some noise for your
Now we're going to start the Caldwell County Lady Tigers starting lineup.
Starting in goal, 00, Drew Thomas.
00, Drew Thomas.
Number 1, Taywolf Freeman.
Number 1, Taylor Freeman.
Number 2, Mackenzie Smiley.
Number 2, Mackenzie Smiley.
Number 3, Lucy Goffinette.
Number 3, Lucy Goffinette.
Number 8, Maggie Ginn.
Number 8, Maggie Ginn.
Number 10, S.G. Carnahan.
Number 10, Sarah Grace Carnahan.
Number 13, Kelsey the Enforcer Adams.
Number 13, Kelsey Adams.
Number 14, McKenna Jackson.
Number 14, McKenna Jackson.
Number 17, Hannah Young.
Number 17, Hannah Young.
And number 16, Meriden Janina.
Number 16, Meriden Janina.
And number 19, Laney
And number
Fletcher.
19, Laney Fletcher.
God bless you, players, and have a good game. All right. And back here, Macy, I should have told you something about how we do the starting lineups. Now, I didn't mean to leave you hanging out there before the national anthem, but great job. Thanks for jumping in there for us and telling us the starting lineups tonight. Mason, we were talking before the anthem and the starting lineups that this game could be a trap game if Caldwell County comes out and doesn't take care of business early, keep focused on this and not ride that high from Tuesday night.
Right. I mean, it's a new game. You've got to come into it with that mindset that the last game doesn't matter at this point. You're in a new game. You're in a new half, the scoreboard is set at 0-0. It could go either way at this point. So you definitely have to come out and think, all right, this is another team, not the same one we were playing.
And this team's going to come out tonight, Macy, and they're gaining confidence week in and week out. They've played the toughest game probably so far. The loss they have is UHA, and they had every chance to win that one. And right now I think the confidence is there. If these two teams met, and they will again soon, that Caldwell would have a different outcome.
Right. I mean, they have a week for that UHA game, so I'm hoping by then that they will have the encouragement and the enthusiasm to say, okay, let's come back in and let's do this. Like, we can do this. The last game was just unlucky on our part, but we can definitely beat them. I mean, look at the teams that we have beat. We can do it to them too.
And as we said, the defense is really standing on their head right now. 3 straight shutouts, and out of the 8 wins Caldwell County has, they come in 8-4 on the season as Caldwell takes first possession. 8 wins, 7 of those by shutout.
Yeah, which, I mean, like I said, is amazing on the defense's part.
And Fort Campbell has the ball. Caldwell County laying back just a little feeling out early in the contest, just underway here at Butler Stadium. Caldwell County in the home white. They'll be traveling toward the West Main Street end of Butler Stadium. Fort Campbell in the blue with the white numbers, and they'll be going towards Washington Street. Kind of a slow start for both teams. Ball staying around midfield. Fort Campbell has it now, setting their offense. They try to take it to the outside. Carnahan there for Caldwell County. Back over to the middle. Again there defensively for the Lady Tigers. Freeman jumps up with a steal. Now she's going to come to midfield. She's got Meriden Janina up front. Puts it over to Laney Fletcher coming across the stripe. Feeds the through ball to Meriden Janina. It's going to be kicked away by the keeper for Fort Campbell. The keeper saw Meriden coming down the line. She didn't want to take a chance trying to reach down and pick that up. So good pressure by Meriden to start this game out.
Definitely.
Ball played over to Goffinette. Little bunched up in the center. Janina plays it to the side. Nobody home. Carnahan's going to try to come up and make the run. But Macy not the best spacing to start the offensive night out for the Lady Tigers. Again gets it back. Takes it over to Jackson. Jackson up to Freeman. Freeman up to Smiley. Smiley had a big game on Monday night with another hat trick in the big win. Ball stolen away by Fort Campbell. They'll put it up near midfield. Early 5:30 varsity start tonight here for the Lady Tigers as the sun is coming right down at us, Mason, so we'll do the best we can to pick these numbers up tonight. Goffinette has it. Tried to play the through ball up to Fletcher. Fletcher now still pointing it out. She's in a position maybe to be offside. Going to have to take a look around as she had a pretty good lead. Fort Campbell able to steal, put the ball back to midfield. The header goes off awkwardly, picked up by Smiley. Smiley back over to Freeman now, far side of the field. And now Freeman finds Fletcher. Fletcher tries to switch field looking for Goffinette, picked off by Fort Campbell at about the 30-yard line. Now Fort Campbell will turn, bring it back up the field. Defensively, it's Adams. And Macy, I'll let you comment something on what you expect if you were a senior and you've got a freshman starting on that back line. Describe a little of what you think about the play of Kelsey Adams so far this year.
I mean, as a senior, you probably wouldn't have honestly much to tell her. I mean, normally, like my senior year, I didn't really tell defense how to do their job regardless of what age group they were in, just because I wasn't on that side of the field ever. I was always in an offensive standpoint, so I normally waited for the other seniors who were on that side of the field to, you know, let them know, or even juniors at that point to let them know. But I think that Kelsey does everything that she needs to do, and I think if she does something wrong, that they'll definitely let her know. But it's normally a rarity for her to do something wrong or make an unlucky decision.
Yeah, she has played way older than a freshman this year so far for the Lady Tigers, and one of a few. You've got a lot of young kids. You've got Hannah Young back there in the back that's really doing a good job. And you're also flanked by a couple of seniors in Carnahan and Jackson, so that kind of helps the confidence, I would say, being back there.
Right. I mean, you don't really have – your senior players don't really outrank the freshmen back there. I mean, they all really work well together, and they don't really not get along. They know exactly what the other one's going to do. So, I mean, they've really kind of meshed together really well back there.
One thing the Lady Tigers are going to have to do tonight is keep up with number 1, Caitlin Cervantes, and also Madison Ruggles, number 5. Number 1 and number 5 account for the vast majority of the goals scored by Fort Campbell this year. So you can't let those two loose on a through ball at all anytime tonight, or it's going to be tough on Drew to hold the net empty. We're about 5 minutes into this one. No score early on here at Butler Stadium. Ball's going to roll over the end line, and that'll go out of bounds, and it'll be a goal kick for Drew Thomas. Coach Jacobs already putting some substitutes in. That's been one of the strengths so far this season, has been that deep bench, Macy, as he's bringing players in. Probably you're going to go 6 or 7 deep without really missing the step, either offensively or defensively.
Yeah, I mean, that's very true. I mean, you don't really skip out on experience for fresh legs, which is a really, really good thing, and that's something that you want to have on your bench.
I think that's one of the biggest reasons this team is expected to go deep into the regional tournament and maybe even get a shot at a team like Henderson County somewhere down the line. Fort Campbell pulls it back. Carnahan chases up, makes Fort Campbell jump a little bit earlier than they wanted. Getting back is Smiley. Smiley pushed in the back, no call. Now Fort Campbell has advantage coming up. They take it down the middle. Ginn retreats and gets back into position. Ball cleared out to Freeman. Taylor plays it over to Goffinette. Goffinette with a nice stop. Looks down the field, nice through ball looking for Fletcher. It's going to roll to the left corner. Fletcher chases it down inside the 18. Going to play it back over to Freeman. Freeman has a little opening, pushes it back to Fletcher. Fletcher towards the goal, shot stopped at the goal by the keeper. But a nice shot by Lainey Fletcher, who's developed a pretty good scoring attitude as this season has gone along.
Yeah, I mean, she has a really good left foot cross, and that helps a lot. And she can take those shots that most people won't really want to take. She'll just go ahead and take them.
And Caldwell County gets it back near midfield. 4 subs set to go in for Caldwell County at the next opportunity. That ball rolls out of bounds, far sideline. It'll be Fort Campbell throw. Fort Campbell with the kick down the field, blocked nicely by Taylor Freeman. It's going to go to the sideline. Jackson keeps it in, but right to a Fort Campbell player. They try the long ball down the field. Kelsey Adams in good position. The ball deflects back to Fort Campbell as they take it down their right-hand side into the offensive end. Good play by Adams. That's body control and knows how to position herself well to get the steal. Ball comes back up to midfield. Again in a battle, taps it over to Smiley. Smiley with a nice ball up for a minute, bounces off the Fort Campbell player right to Goffinette. Goffinette with the drop over to Freeman. Back over to Janina. Janina has a lead on 2 chasers. She pulls a string right. It was going to go off the post, it looked like, from about 16 yards out, but it was touched by the keeper, so it'll be the first corner kick of the night for the Lady Tigers. Looks like the players up front are doing a good job, Macy, in communicating with Taylor and with McKenzie about where to put the passes. Good job by Meriden there. She almost had the goal there. It was curving in, looked like it was bound for the post, but deflected away at the last minute by the keeper.
Yeah, being that one forward up there, it's really difficult to kind of be able to see where your midfield's going to take it, because you literally have to be able to make sure you're going to the right side of the field, because if you're not, then you have an open field on the other side and you can't get that goal scoring opportunity. So I think she does a really good job of knowing where to go when that ball is in play.
And a little confusion on the substitutions as Caldwell puts Kaylee McEnany in. Let's see, let's pick up some of those other substitutes. Macy, as Carnahan puts it in front of the goal, headed by Matea Butts, almost in Matea, one of the ones that came in. Also, Pookie Trailer
and I think
in
Becca
the ball game, and that ball
Seibert came in too.
Was it Seibert or Littlefield?
29.
Was it 29
Yeah.
or 23?
I think it was 29.
Okay, we'll pick that number up in a minute.
Could be wrong. Maybe it was 23. It's on this side over here.
Let's see. She's going towards the goal right now as Fort Campbell tries to clear it. It is 23.
It is 23, so you're right.
That's Sophie Littlefield. So 4 substitutes in the game early. We're about 9 minutes into this contest. That one's going to go off of Carnahan out of bounds. It'll be a throw in front of the Fort Campbell bench. No score so far here at Butler Stadium. McEnany with the touch. Fort Campbell's back line clears it out to midfield. No blue on this side of the field, though, as Adams had plenty of time to get it over to Jackson. Jackson still in a battle. Fort Campbell takes it, but nice position, nice turn by Laney Fletcher. Laney puts the through ball looking for Pookie Trailer. Deflected, but still Caldwell's possession. Fletcher's going to switch fields looking for Littlefield. Deflected again by Fort Campbell. Littlefield in a battle on the sideline. And there's going to be a whistle. It'll be Fort Campbell ball. And really probably only helped us, Macy, on that one, because Fort Campbell had possession and coming up the field. So a kind of a break, even though we lost possession, that the whistle was blown.
Right.
Fort Campbell's going to put it in with the free kick. Nice leg down the field, deflected off of Young. A high return shot's going to take a bounce and right into the arms. One of the easier stops that Drew Hadley will make tonight. I'm sure. Picks it up, low line drive punt. First touch goes to Fort Campbell on that one. They're going to play it back into their defensive side. Ball loose on the defensive side. Littlefield started to come back. Now Fort Campbell has it. They play it up. Littlefield able to get a foot on it. Get it over to McEnany. McEnany plays it to Fletcher. Fletcher right back down the field. Macy, the middle of the field has the right idea of getting the ball down, but it seems like it's always just barely deflected by a Fort Campbell midfielder.
Right, just a few too many unlucky passes or a few too many inches forward or backward. So it's just a kind of making sure that you're going where you want it to go and making sure the other person you're sending the ball to knows where you're wanting it to go as well.
Fort Campbell had it deep inside the 18, but played back out. Now they'll take it to the far sideline. McKenna Jackson defensively there for the Lady Tigers. Big shot by number 4 over the goal. And Macy, number 4, let's go ahead and look her up because we may call her name a little bit tonight. That's Jordan Hardy. She has 5 goals on the year, the 3rd leading scorer, but she's got a leg. She's put 2 towards the goal here in the last couple of minutes.
She looks like she's a midfield too. So if she is a midfield, that's a pretty good scoring record for a midfield to have 5 goals, since that's not normally the one that's making the shots on goal anyways.
Ball cleared out by Adams all the way near midfield to Fletcher. Fletcher bump, no call. Fletcher comes back up, has it stolen away. Littlefield makes the steal right back, gets it over to McEnany. McEnany with the drop to Littlefield. Nice lob over, looking for Pookie Trailer. And the keeper comes out to the top of the 18, picks that one up, puts a weak punt back out, but controlled by the Lady Falcons. Now they put the through ball, giving chase is Kelsey Adams. Cervantes right there with her. It goes off of Cervantes. Now the ball's still loose, going towards the goal, into the side of the net. And almost a bad break there for the Lady Tigers. Caitlin Cervantes with 10 goals on the season. And Caldwell County starters back in the ball game. Freeman, Smiley, Goffinette, and Janina come back in. Macy, I don't think it was a matter of confusion or setting up a play. I think it was a matter of intensity to start this game out. I don't think the coach got what he was looking for at the opening whistle. They came over, got a little pep talk. They're back in the game and see if they can turn this one up a little bit. 27 minutes left in the first half. No score here at Butler Stadium.
I agree. I think Fort Campbell came out wanting this a lot more than we did, just from the way they're playing. They've had more shots on goal than we have and everything else. So for that to be what happened, sometimes you do have to get a little bit of a pep talk and kind of get onto them and have them come back out stronger.
And the deflection comes out near the broadcast booth. It didn't take long for Meriden to get back in the game and get a shot off, although it's stopped by the keeper for Fort Campbell. Ball played back in. Taylor Freeman had it back to Carnahan. Looking for Fletcher. Poor Laney has some games where it looks like she's just playing pinball out there. She bounces off so many defenders because she goes right to the ball. There's no hesitation whatsoever with Laney's game. She's an aggressive player. She's developed a scoring mentality, and she will fight 1, 2, 3 people for a loose ball.
If she loses the ball, she will keep going until she gets it back. So that's a player that you want to have on your team.
And let's see, getting set to check in Morgan McDaniels on the next dead ball. Fort Campbell now with a run down the left side, giving chase is Young. Good crossover move by number 4. She puts a shot on goal. It's going to be high and over the net. But number 4 is that Jordan Hardy. Macy, that's 3 times we've called this young lady's name early in this contest. She's shot high each time, but she's getting it measured. We're going to have to do a better job defending on number 4, or she's going to cause some trouble at some point in this ball game.
And that one started just kind of from an unlucky touch and not passing back as hard as they should have. And number 4 took her chance and she went with it. And so you can't really give them that chance. You have to make sure you cut that off before they get it.
Fort Campbell by far the more aggressive team early in this first half. Very similar start to the Paducah-Tillman game just a couple of weeks ago, as that one crosses the net. Could have easily been put in. It's going to go out of bounds.
They've definitely had more shots on goal than we have tonight. So
Caldwell favored against Fort Campbell a while back. That game 0-0 at halftime before Caldwell County woke up a little bit, put 6 on the board in the second half. That one crossed the net, and they had one crashing. Just a nice defensive play on the far side kept that one from going in.
And I honestly believe that we're a little bit of a second half team, which is scary and not good.
And Janina went to kick the ball. It was blocked right as she kicked it, so she goes down on the ground in some obvious pain. So we're going to let the coach and the trainer come out and take a look at that. And Darren, I'll tell you what, let's use the midpoint break right here and take a break, and we'll check on the outcome of Meriden's injury here. So stay tuned. You're listening to Lady Tiger Soccer here on WPKY.
This is Carol at the Woodall Agency at 110 West Washington Street in the heart of downtown Princeton. Our agency is proud to have been a part of this community since 1907. We want you to come by and see us soon. We may be able to save you some money on your home, auto, motorcycle, or mobile home insurance. We offer discounts for good students, multi-policy, safe drivers, and many more. We appreciate our loyal customers, and we will work hard to make you feel like part of the Woodall Agency family. Call me today at 365-5541.
And we are back here at Butler Stadium as Meriden Janina able to walk off without any help. So that's a good sign, Macy, but she did hit the ball at the same time a defender came up and put a foot on it, and the ball didn't move. The foot hit it at full impact, so Meriden in some obvious pain. She will come out of the ball game, get looked at, but we hope that's nothing serious, as she was able to walk off.
Coincidentally enough, that's what I did my senior year and had a very deep bone bruise the exact same way in Bowling Green. So the weekend of the Bowling Green tournament is this weekend. So
we talked
I
about
don't know if
that
that's bad luck for her or not. I don't know. I guess I should let her know all my injuries so that way it doesn't happen to her. But hopefully she'll be okay. I mean, she walked off, so she's a tough cookie.
Ball played back out on the free kick. Fort Campbell had it. Caldwell took it back for a moment. Now Fort Campbell again with it. They get it into the middle of the field. That's Jordan Hardy for Fort Campbell. Caldwell County kind of bunched up, standing around. Finally get it over to Smiley, who clears it to midfield, but right to a Fort Campbell player. Here comes Pookie Traylor to try to turn this offense around a little bit for the Lady Tigers. She puts it over to Goffinette, near side. Nice touch pass to Traylor. Traylor did a good job fighting that one off and getting possession. But over to Taylor Freeman, who has it taken away at midfield. The trip's going to be called on Ginn. And Fort Campbell will have a free kick inside the defensive portion of the circle. 22 minutes left in the first half. No score here at Butler Stadium. Coach Jacobs is going to switch the players, not actually in and out, but switch the positions on some. Laney Fletcher will be on near side as Goffinette will go far side. Morgan McDaniel's in the backfield. And in at forward is Pookie Traylor. Fort Campbell puts the ball in play. Young had the deflection. Fort Campbell tried to pass it into the corner. It'll go out of bounds, and it'll be a throw-in for the Lady Tigers. Ball's going to, I think he did finally call it out of bounds. That was a very soft whistle. I didn't hear anything. Fort Campbell will get the throw in front of the Lady Tiger bench. They go in. First touch is to Fort Campbell. Nice lob down the field. Header puts it into the corner. It'll go across the end line and out of bounds for the goal kick. But Macy just kind of flat coming out tonight. They're not playing bad by any means. We don't want to say that they're not hustling, not trying, but it just seems a little bit flat tonight trying to get to that offensive end.
I think sometimes, even whenever I played, I think Caldwell as a whole has a really bad habit of playing down to the team that you're playing, and it's really hard not to do that because you get in their speed of play, you get in their touches and everything like that. So it's really hard to get the mentality to not do that. I think that's kind of a little bit of what's happening, is that we're playing at their speed of play instead of ours, and that's really kind of hurting us.
Of course, a lot of teams will come in seeing how Caldwell County has scored 20 goals in their last 3 games, so they're going to bunch that defense up, try to keep it close till halftime. But offensively, Fort Campbell's doing some better things than we are at this point, trying to get the through ball. Their passes are a little bit wider, and their spacing is much better at this point as Caldwell County switches up. They've got Goffinette far side. She comes away with a steal. Now the Lady Tigers will push an offensive line up, but again deflected on the pass towards Traylor. Good job by Freeman to go back and get it. She drops it off to Smiley. Smiley's going to put it through down into the 18, but a little too much on that one. It'll roll across the end, and it'll be a goal kick for the Lady Falcons. Caldwell County comes into tonight at 8-4. Fort Campbell comes in at 4-7. Of course, the Lady Tigers off that big win on Monday night. I said Tuesday earlier, Monday night here at Butler Stadium. First time in 10 years the Lady Tigers from Caldwell County beat the Lady Tigers of Hopkinsville. So they're going to take a water break. I guess the temperature is up high enough. They're going to split this half and take a water break. So we'll take a 30-second break and be right back. You're listening to Lady Tiger Soccer on WPKY.
Hey, Ty, did you know that Cozy Living in Tears is new owner? No, I didn't. I was so impressed when I was in there. They have items for everybody. Furniture, boutique, and gifts. Do they have baby items? Yes, and a registry. One thing that impressed me the absolute most was they offer veterans and first responders always 10% off. That is impressive. And you've got to meet their adorable mascot, Jay. He's a golden doodle puppy.
Oh, yeah. This is
Definitely
at every
go
time
by
it plays.
today. Where are they located? 235 Northville Drive, right next to the bowling alley. Cozy living, just like a home should be.
And we are back to Butler Stadium. 18 minutes left. Macy, the weather tonight much more like August than late September. As it's warming up, they took a break at the midpoint of the first half. And I think it's a break Coach Jacobs was glad we got tonight. I don't know if you can pick up a lot that's going on the sideline, but in no uncertain terms, I think he's wanting more emotion, more physical play, and more intensity.
Right. I mean, he's wanting them to play like they played Hoptown, like they played UHA the first time we played them. I mean, they can't come out here just thinking, oh, it's just Fort Campbell, we're better than them, we can beat them. No, because if we don't come out playing how you're supposed to, then they're going to beat us. I mean, they've already had more shots on goal than us, and not bad shots on goal, good shots on goal that some have only been saved just because Drew is a really, really good goalie. I mean, if you had just an abnormal, mediocre goalie, those goals would have went in. So, I mean, I don't blame him one bit for telling them what he's telling them, and hopefully it connects and they go out there and play the way that they should and that they can.
Because the good thing about this year, Macy, aside from Henderson, they're always going to have maybe a step higher than most teams. This region is wide open, but there's not a team good enough to take a night off and play halfway and beat somebody out here. This team is very good. They're deep. They've got some club players, probably more than we've had in years, but still we're not at a level where we can take a night off and just think we're going to roll over somebody. Hopkinsville's down a little bit. Other teams are down, so it's wide open this year, but you're going to have to play every game like you really want it more than the other team.
Right. I mean, the only two teams that we're behind in the region right now are Henderson and UHA. Now, I will say whenever we played Henderson, we did not play them as good as we could have, and I think that the game should have been a different scoring game. I'm not going to say we would have beat them, but I will say that I think it should have been a closer game than it was. Right. And then UHA, of course, as you know, was a phenomenal game for us, and it just happened we just got the unlucky draw on that, but it was only a one-goal game, and that honestly could have gone either way for either team. I think if we would have had 10 more minutes on the scoreboard that game, we would have probably got another goal and at least tied it.
Saturday morning game, and our depth was starting to take control, but like you said, just one. Fort Campbell comes back out of the timeout. They put the ball through. Morgan McDaniels hustles down the field, but again, Fort Campbell had a chance to really turn some offense in. Lainey Fletcher has it deflected away from her. She's going to play it over to Young. Young finally clears the line up to Freeman. Freeman drops it off to Fletcher. Nice ball by Fletcher. She gets it up to Traylor. Traylor all alone. Gets tripped at the 18. No call. Now a bump as Fort Campbell's going to push this one across the end line. And the call is going to go against Pookie on that one. Not really in total agreement with that one. I thought the Fort Campbell player made a nice play getting the ball out of bounds, but I think her momentum trying to kick it right when she fell left is more the cause of the fall. But anyway, it's going to be Fort Campbell ball from about the 10-yard line. They get it out. Traylor able to pick it off. Now Traylor with somebody on her shoulder. It's going to stay Caldwell County ball. It'll be a throw in deep in the offensive end. Lainey Fletcher with a big throw across to the middle to Taylor Freeman. Taylor with a ball up to Goffinette. Goffinette tried to squeeze between a couple of players, had to dump it off to Traylor. Traylor wanted to take it in front of the goal, hustled or got in a little bit too much of a hurry, didn't get square, and dropped it off behind the net. But still, nobody really in a spot to catch an assist when the ball does get through. We're playing kind of if we get it to that forward, it's either their goal or it's a turnover.
Right, and that's one of the drawbacks of having a one forward starting lineup. I mean, it's hard. I will say from experience, if you're on one side of the field with the ball and no one else is on the other side, you kind of either have to dribble the ball a little bit and waste time, or shoot wherever you are and kind of just hope that it happens.
Caldwell County with almost an opportunity there. Fort Campbell's keeper came out to kick the ball out. It kind of shanked off her foot a little bit, stayed in the box for a long time, but nobody from Caldwell County really doing any crashing at that point. Fort Campbell able to kick it out. Now the Lady Falcons will switch fields. Giving chase on the far side is McKenna Jackson. Matea Butts set to check in at the next dead ball for the Lady Tigers. Butts, Littlefield, and Carnahan and McEnany all set to check in. So kind of like the old hockey thing where you have the line change where they all come over the wall. Caldwell County doing a lot of that tonight.
Like
Traylor
indoor.
with a nice lob over from Fletcher. Traylor with the shot on goal, wide left, but just barely. She had a good idea of keeping that one low and making the keeper go for it, but just pulled it a little bit too much. Janina back into the ball game. Good to see her back in after coming out with the apparent foot or ankle injury on the kick earlier in the game. 12:46 left in the first half. A couple of injury timeouts and the water break, so we'll have some on the referee's watch, I'm sure, before this one's blown at halftime. Fort Campbell with the goal kick. Deflection comes back to Janina. Janina puts it over to Butts. Butts gives chase, but it's going to go out of bounds on the sideline. Kind of like to have seen the old Macy spin move on that one and put some on the put a shot on the goal on that one. Carnahan comes up with the deflection at midfield, finds Freeman. Littlefield wanted the ball. But Fort Campbell's going to come up and make the steal at midfield. Good deflection by Ginn. Macy, one thing is causing Caldwell County a little bit of trouble, I think. Fort Campbell's a fairly quick team. They've got some quickness with the ball handling, and I think it's causing the Lady Tigers a little bit of trouble, especially at the midfield spots.
Yeah, I think that they don't want the ball to sit in the middle as much as we do. They like to get it from the middle straight out to an outside man, and we like to sit it in the middle, and that's where the different plays are happening, and that's why they're getting up the field a lot quicker than we are.
Ball on the far side, that was Littlefield. Now taken away, back at midfield, back to Littlefield. Littlefield gets it over to Taylor Freeman. The deflection off Janina comes back to Freeman. Nice step by Freeman. She's got a little hole coming up the seam, puts it through, lobs it in for Butts, but picked up by the keeper. Butts would have had a better shot at that. She was kind of shielded when that play developed, just enough to keep her from getting in the box in time to take the shot. McEnany now middle of the field. She's going to switch over to Butts. Butts with the one touch back to Freeman. Freeman had the ball taken away on a nice play at the 18 by Fort Campbell. They'll work it up the near sideline until it comes to Sarah Grace Carnahan. Now Caldwell County has it to Ginn in the middle. Ginn looks for Littlefield. Littlefield to Janina. Janina had two people close in on her like a sandwich. But Caldwell keeps possession for a second. Deflection comes out to Carnahan. Gets it up to Matea Butts. She was looking for Janina at the top of the 18. The ball's going to go out of bounds off the defensive kick out. It'll be a throw in for the Lady Tigers as we're down near 10 minutes left in the first half. Still no score here from Butler Stadium. Very warm night here for a late September ball game. Referee in a little conversation with one of the Fort Campbell players. I don't know what that was over, Macy, if you have any idea.
Maybe just telling her to calm down or something. Maybe just not wanting to give her a card or stop the game for too long.
We've kind of bounced back and forth this season between 2 and 3 ref officiating crews. Tonight, 2-man crew here at Butler. Ball inside the 6, into the corner, kicked out by the keeper, loose for a second before Campbell able to put it out of bounds. It'll be a corner kick for Caldwell County, but the keeper, I don't know why she didn't pick it up, but she walked over and just kind of kicked it. Janina was almost able to walk around. Carnahan's going to take the corner kick from the scoreboard end of Butler Stadium. Caldwell County sets up with this one. He's going to send Young all the way up to help out. Ball up, loose in the box, kicked out by Fort Campbell. That was a nice corner kick, Macy, from Carnahan. It was just about the right level for 2 or 3 Lady Tigers to get ahead on it.
Right, it was exactly where you want it to be whenever you have a corner kick.
The play comes back out to Fort Campbell at midfield. Now they put 5 players on the offensive end. Caldwell County will go on defense. Fort Campbell with the through ball, giving chase is Jackson. They're going to call her offsides, but Macy, that was a break for us because it wasn't by much.
No, not by much at all. And I mean, whenever you have 2 ref, a split center, you don't get many offsides called because they're normally a little worried about calling it and not being able to see it from the right angle. So it's a very rare chance for you to do it.
Caldwell County quickly back the other end, but the through ball too far to lead Janina, picked up easily by the keeper for Fort Campbell. Kick out towards Butts. Butts gets position. She's going to drop it back to Carnahan. Carnahan with a big kick looking for Janina, but a quick play from their center back, number 17. We'll look that name up in just a minute, Mason, but a very good leg, and she's got some quickness on that back line. That's Jasmine Ward. She hasn't scored any this year, but man, she is tough on defense, so apparently just a strictly defensive player, as a lot of coaches will stick to that. Ball comes in, still no score, 7.5 minutes left in the first half. Smiley and Goffinet set to check in at the next break for Caldwell County. And coming out of the ball game, let's see who those 2 call off. I think Sophie Littlefield is going to be one, and Taylor Freeman is coming out.
Oh, he's switching it to 2 forwards.
Taylor's such a quality player at quarterback on this team that she doesn't see a lot of bench time, but she's just going to come out and get a rest on a warm night. That leaves McEnany in the spot. Kaylee had an opening just second, does release a shot, tipped up and caught by the keeper for Fort Campbell on a nice play by the goaltender. Ball out to midfield, first bounce comes up to Young. Young puts it over to Butts, stolen away by Fort Campbell. Now Caldwell County has it just below the circle on their offensive end. Through ball looking for Smiley is going to be kicked to the side by Fort Campbell. They bring it back to the middle. McEnany made a charge on it. Now she's fighting 2 players for the ball. Good job by Matea Butts to come up and force the issue. Gets it over to Janina. Ball still loose on the offensive end for the Lady Tigers. Now Fort Campbell comes across midfield. Defense collapses and goes back. They get the steal back to midfield. Now a little semi-tennis match going on at the midfield stripe as Caldwell County looks to take possession. Ginn gives chase. Stolen by Fort Campbell, though. And that is number 1, Caitlin Cervantes, the second leading scorer for the Lady Falcons. Gets it out to the leading scorer, Madison Ruggles. Now it's Ruggles and Cervantes as they try to work it in. They get a through ball coming in. Drew has to come out, and a good choice by Drew Thomas. Macy, I think Fort Campbell, that's Jalen Lilly, would have scored had she taken the shot, but Drew really had to come out. She only came out about 3 or 4 yards before she was at the ball.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a close call there, but.
Yeah, Fort Campbell tried to dribble that one all the way in. Had they taken the shot, it could have been some trouble. Ball's going to be deflected out of bounds. It'll be a throw in under the broadcast booth here at midfield as Fletcher will come in, and good minutes by Matea Butts, and she's provided that a lot this season, Macy. I've been really impressed with the improvement in Matea and how many minutes she can provide in a substitute role. Ball comes back up to McEnany. She wanted Goffinet, didn't get enough on it, but the ball stolen back away by Ginn. Now Goffinet far sideline, tries to get control. Good spin move by Lucy. She takes it in against 2 players, still has it going towards the 18. Inside the 18, drops it over to Janina. Janina with the shot just left of the goal. And it'll be a goal kick for the Lady Falcons. There was probably better passing in that little series than we've seen in the first 20-something minutes of this first half, 30 minutes of this first half.
Yeah, I think they're just, whenever they get it up here, they're a little bit rushed, and they kind of feel like, oh, we have to get a goal, we have to get it right now, and it kind of hurts their shooting capabilities a little bit.
Fort Campbell drops it back. And Macy, at halftime, you made the notation just a few minutes ago that Caldwell County's going with the 2 forwards. Now we have Smiley as well as Merritt and Janina up front for the Lady Tigers. At halftime, I'll let you talk about the different philosophies in the 1 forward set as opposed to the 2 forward set.
Okay.
Fort Campbell with the substitution as Jordan Hardy will come off the field. A well-deserved rest for Jordan Hardy. She's been pretty impressive tonight early in this ball game.
She's probably taken 50% of their shots tonight, so I'm sure she's okay with that right now.
By far the most aggressive player on the field tonight for either team. Ball played back out looking towards midfield. Janina there at midfield, but Fort Campbell comes back for the ball. Kayla McEnany puts a little pressure up there, still with Fort Campbell. Now the ball finally deflected to Janina. She drops it back to Goffinette. Goffinette wants to switch fields, plays it too far behind Fletcher. Nice job by Laney to come back for the ball and get it up to Carnahan. Carnahan up to Smiley. Nice header flick by Smiley. She's giving chase, but picked up just inside the 18 by the keeper for Fort Campbell. Kick goes off the toe of her foot, comes right up to McEnany. Back over to Smiley. Smiley with the drop to Fletcher. Fletcher wanted the through ball, I'm not sure, to Smiley, or she had Janina coming through right behind Smiley. Before Campbell able to recover, they get it across midfield. And in a chase down the near sideline is Carnahan. She gets it over to Adams. Adams with a nice kick back up to midfield. Janina directing traffic, wanted Laney to go wide. Now the through ball to Smiley. Smiley couldn't get there, but kicked out by the keeper for Fort Campbell. And whistle's going to blow. Some action down here after Smiley and the keeper collided. They're going to stop play and give the ball to...
It was a little bit of a late call if he was going to...
a very late call on that one. And Mason, we had some different calls from this official a couple of weeks ago, apparently out of the first region. And has a whole different take at times on the ball game.
I think that's what you get whenever you have refs that come from different regions. I mean, you have teams that play differently and play either a lot more aggressively or less aggressively, so you kind of have people who bend the rules and who don't bend the rules, so it's just kind of how it is with refs sometimes.
Ball played back by Carnahan, good chase. Now Jackson in a tough battle far sideline. Fort Campbell still has it, trying to fight through every defender Caldwell County has, and that is number 5, Madison Ruggles. Really giving Caldwell fits on that far side, goes out of bounds off the Lady Tigers. It's a throw-in for Fort Campbell, but Lady Tigers still laying back, not applying the pressure when that ball comes in. And they've got to get a little more pressure, both offensively and defensively tonight, or this one may be trouble. Looking for the through ball to Smiley. She makes a run, but easily picked up at the 18. Ball back up to midfield. Morgan McDaniel set to check back in for the Lady Tigers. We're going to stop the clock at 40 seconds on the clock, but may see some injury timeout when your sister went down with an ankle injury and the water break. So a little extra time on the referee's watch, I'm sure. As we near the end of the first half, no score here tonight, Caldwell County and Fort Campbell. A very evenly matched ball game tonight. In fact, you'd have to give time of possession maybe a little bit in favor of Fort Campbell so far in this first half.
I would say so. I'd be a little scared to be coming off that field and getting that halftime talk today. But
deflection bounces inside the 6. Kicked out on a nice play by Young. She lobs it back out near the midfield circle. But again, it's Fort Campbell getting to these 50-50 balls a little quicker than the Lady Tigers. Now the through ball to Janina. Let's see if it gets to the 18. The keeper comes out. Now empty net with the ball out at the midfield circle. She'll retreat to the net. McEnany bumped as she goes around, no call. Fort Campbell clears it to their offensive end. Goffinette there defensively for the Lady Tigers. Still 3 blue jerseys right there around Kelsey Adams. Kelsey able to get it out to midfield to Goffinette. Goffinette up to Janina right at the midfield stripe. She turns, puts it towards Smiley. Now Smiley in a foot race and gets blocked away. Played back to the keeper, who does kick it out. And it'll go off of Fort Campbell out of bounds far sideline, throw in for the Lady Tigers. as McDaniels will check into the ball game for Carnahan. Stay tuned at halftime. We'll have Macy recap the first half action here, and then we'll look ahead to the second half and also the broadcast schedule as the football team finally at home again tomorrow night against Paducah Tillman in the first district game of the season. Throw in for Caldwell County in front of Fort Campbell's bench. Clock stopped, as we said. We're in stoppage time now, first half, on the referee's watch. Throw in flick by McEnany. Fort Campbell has it deep inside the 18. McEnany puts it back to Smiley. Smiley wants to turn, put a shot on, doesn't get it. Deflection shot comes up and tipped away. Nice shot by Fletcher. I thought that was going to drop for a second. It had some potential. But tipped over the bar and out of bounds. It'll be a corner kick, though, for Caldwell County as time is about to expire here in the first half. Caldwell County will send the formation into the 6. Corner kick's going to be taken by Smiley. Smiley plays it back to Jackson. Jackson from the 18 puts a shot on goal, squeaks all the way to the goal, but deflected away by Fort Campbell again, right out to Smiley. Smiley with the angled kick just over the net, and it'll be a goal kick for Fort Campbell. So a couple of decent scoring chances for the Lady Tigers as we close out this first half. Fort Campbell set with the goal kick from the 6. Breaking on it was Goffinette and McEnany. Now back to Goffinette. And again, the official near side calls one across the field and gives it to the Lady Falcons. Sun right over the old hosiery mill building here in Princeton. So if we miss a number, grandparents or parents, bear with us. We are doing the best we can. Deflection comes back to Janina. She had an opening for a second, closed up by number 17. Did we ever find her number on here? That was, yeah, Jasmine Ward. A very good defensive player. I mean, she's one of the better defensive players that we've seen so far this season. Ball comes back out again. Offensive end of the circle. She plays it over to Fletcher. Fletcher with a one-touch, but nobody home for Caldwell County. And it's Ward again clearing it out. McDaniels will let that roll out of bounds. It'll be a throw in for the Lady Tigers in front of their own bench. Goes back to McDaniels on the deflection. She puts it into the middle of the field where she has Smiley and a couple of Tigers on that far side. If she can switch fields, takes it down, but to a Fort Campbell player instead. They come back near midfield. Smiley cleans it up, puts it out of bounds. Caldwell will reset the defense at the midfield stripe. Adams with the clear, back up to midfield, again looking for Smiley. Good header by Smiley, gets it up to Janina. Janina sandwiched in amongst two players. She's able to get it over to Fletcher. And Fletcher had a slight opening for a minute, but the referee blew the whistle, signaling the end of the first half. So after one half, nothing has been settled here at Butler Stadium. It's Caldwell County 0, Fort Campbell 0. We'll be back in 1 minute. This is Lady Tiger Soccer on WPKY.
Don't miss the store-wide going out of business sale at Sandra's Gatherings. You heard right. Sandra and Billy are going to the house, but not before offering their customers savings before they go. They want to reduce inventory now. Save 30% on all items store-wide. Shop now for the holidays and save 30% off all items store-wide. It's the going out of business clearance at Sanders Gatherings, 116 East Main Street in Princeton.
Princeton Drug Company, 103 West Main in Princeton, proudly features low-cost prescriptions and friendly service. Princeton Drug offers in-town delivery, in-store pickup, or a convenient drive-through window. Princeton Drug has a wide selection of Christian greeting cards for every occasion. Princeton Drug is open Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 5:30, and on Saturday from 8:30 to 2:30. No deliveries on Saturday. Princeton Drug, 103 West Main Street, Princeton. Phone 365-5585.
And we are back at Butler Stadium. We're at halftime. Caldwell County and Fort Campbell knotted at 0 here at the end of 40 minutes of play. Dennis Stevens and Macy Janina with you tonight. And Macy, a couple of things in that ball game. Caldwell County came out just a little bit flat. Coach Jacobs wasted no time pulling 4 or 5 starters out to try to find a little bit of energy to put back in that lineup. So the start really wasn't what we were expecting after that big win at Hoptown or over Hoptown.
I mean, I think it is hard to come to a game like this after you beat Hoptown thinking you weren't going to and then beating them 6-0. So, I mean, yeah, you're a little bit excited, and it is also Spirit Week for them, so they're probably just, you know, having a good time this week in general. So they kind of, it's a little hard, you know, at that age to realize, okay, game is over, we're done with it, let's move on to the next one, especially during districts and regionals, because, I mean, whenever district championship comes, say you win, then you go into the regional, you could face a team that's just as good as you are that had just a harder district match that they had to get through. So, I mean, you kind of have to learn to get off of that train and get on a new one and then ride that one out and then get on a new one and just kind of the same old back-to-back loop.
Well, another thing you pointed out, being a former player, and I really want to get your perspective on this, Caldwell County came out flat, really no offense to speak of. Fort Campbell dominated the shots on goal, I would say, in the first half, or especially in the first half of the first half. Caldwell County playing with the one forward and your sister Meriden Janina. About midway through, maybe a little bit more, Coach Jacobs made the change, put Smiley up with Janina. Seemed like it picked up the offense a little bit. Still no goals to show, but a little bit more offensive threat, say the last 15, 18 minutes of the first half. I
mean, I think just coming from experience playing both, one forward or two forward or sometimes even three, you just, where your midfielders are placing the ball is super key. Like, so if you have a midfield and they're playing long ball, you don't want it to be too long for a one-man forward. You want it to be just long enough to where you can run past the defensive player, but short enough to where you can get to it. So whenever I played a one-man forward, the midfield and I, Cortland even, just, we clicked and they know exactly where to put it for me, and that was good. So it's just kind of you just have to know your teammates really well. But for a two-man forward, one will stay back a little bit depending on what side of the field the ball is on, but it is a lot easier to switch the field and know that you for sure have someone else on that other side of the field. So both have their advantages, both have their disadvantages. Whenever you're playing a team that is the same speed as you, you want normally one forward just so that way you can have one more person that can play defensively. But whenever you have a team like Fort Campbell, you want to get on the goal or on the scoreboard. I mean, you want a goal, so you can do two forwards for a little bit, and then after you get a few goals, drop them back and play a defensive game. But I don't really think one is better than the other. It's just kind of your team. I mean, every team plays differently. Every team has a different way that they can play things. You have one team that can play this position better than they can this one. I mean, it says that in all levels of soccer. So not everything works for the same person, and you just kind of have to work with that and tweak it a little bit to your team.
Mesa, another point you made in the first half was Caldwell County looks maybe at the schedule and sees the record of Fort Campbell coming in at 4-7. Caldwell at 8-4, coming off 3 straight shutout wins. So maybe took Fort Campbell just a little bit lightly tonight. Fort Campbell came out and played aggressively from the start. Their confidence built up. And I've seen it when you played. I've seen it after you've graduated through some other games since we've done since then. The longer you give the underdog a chance and think they can hang in a game, the tougher it gets to really put the nail in the coffin late in the game on a team you should beat by 2 or 3 goals.
I mean, I remember my sophomore year, I think it was regionals, and we were playing Hoptown, and we were 0-0 the whole first half, and I mean, that makes you feel good. You're like, hey, I am staying with this team that should be a lot better than me, is a lot better than me whenever you look at them on paper and everything. So it makes you feel really good. And then you come out the second half, we got 1 goal, and then Hopkinsville shot back with 6. And so your confidence goes from really, really high to, oh my gosh, this is awful. So, I mean, I will agree that Fort Campbell right now is on a super high thinking, okay, we're at their level. But at the same time, I know that Caldwell has a better game than this, and I know they're on a different level than Fort Campbell's team. And hopefully they come back in the second half and actually prove that to everybody that's here.
Really, defensively has been the key tonight for Caldwell County, and it's been the stellar play actually of 2 freshmen in Young and Adams. So tell me a little bit about what you're seeing from those two, especially playing in the middle. Usually you might see a freshman playing an outside defensive spot. Those two are sandwiched right in the middle, so they're really stepping up to the occasion tonight.
I think with them two both being in the middle, so they've played together probably as long as they know, like since they could walk probably. So they know each other really well. They know when the other one's going to need help, and they know when to step back because the other one's got it and that kind of thing. So I think with Sarah Grace and McKenna being on the outside, being the seniors they are, that they don't stress about the freshmen being in the middle. They're not worried about it. They know that if they slip up, they're going to be okay. They're going to get to the ball. And they don't play dirty. They play clean, and they get the ball, and they know what they're doing. And so to be freshmen and do that, literally they can only go up from there. They can only get better. And I'd love to be able to see them as seniors and see them doing that again. And, I mean, keep doing what they're doing and getting even better at it, because you really can't ask for anything more from freshmen coming up. Those are things that you can't teach. What they do, you cannot teach at this age. You're either you get it or you don't, and they really get it. So that's really good for them.
And they do. They're playing wonderful. Another freshman I want to talk about, Kaylee McEnany. We saw Taylor Freeman come out. We made the remark that Taylor really doesn't get a lot of bench time. I think Coach Jacobs sees the warm temperatures tonight, sees as it's going to be a close game. He brought Taylor out for an extended period to end that half, left Kaylee in, really to rest Taylor up. But Kaylee put some good minutes in and made some decent passes, looking for Janina and looking for Smiley.
I think Kaylee does really well to be the young player she is. I think she's just the same as Kelsey and Hannah in the back. She's experienced. She knows what she's doing when she's on the field. And I don't think she might be. So if you look at her and Taylor, the height difference, there's not a difference in play. She still goes for the ball. She still fights for the ball just as hard. And as a freshman, you really can't ask for anything more. And as a freshman to play in the middle the way that she does, it says a lot, because I would have never wanted to play in the middle as a freshman, because you control the game from the middle. So for her to be able to see the ball and see the field and control the game as well as she does is just, it's a really good feat that she has.
And she is playing really well tonight. As we said, Caldwell County came in 8-4 on the season, and the last 3 games shutouts, outscoring their opponents 20-0. So we look for this offense to maybe click a little bit more in the second half. I'm sure it's a spirited, one-sided conversation in the huddle here at halftime, as we heard Coach Jacobs take advantage of the water break in the first half. So I'm sure he's getting that point across today. Let's take a look ahead of the schedule a little bit for the soccer team, Macy, and then we'll talk about tomorrow night's coverage of the football game. If I can find their schedule, here it is. After tonight, Caldwell County has a big tournament at Warren Central. And Macy, you played in that tournament over there. There's some tough competition. You've got Greenwood, John Hardin, and Graves County in that tournament that we're going to face. Also, Madisonville, and is UHA in that same tournament? I know you said
I'm not sure about
Madisonville
UHA. I think Trigg County is I think we have 2 from our region that are going in there for sure. So,
okay.
But those are 3 hard teams. They come from different regions, and they play different ball. They have different teams that they go up against. I mean, you've got Graves County, which is super good at soccer. It always has been.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully just playing those 3 teams, we'll be able to see what we need to work on and what we're at the same level with them on. And hopefully they rest up and come into it a lot differently than they came into this game today.
After that, you've got a very tough Ohio County team, and then you are going to get the rematch that we've all been looking for, and I can't wait for this one against University Heights. And that will also be here on the 28th. So,
I absolutely cannot wait for it.
Competition coming up for the Lady Tigers. I want to mention tomorrow night, we are, speaking of on the road and at home, finally back at home after 3 straight weeks on the road with football coverage. We are back to Tiger Stadium tomorrow night. It's homecoming. Big crowd will be out there, so we want everybody to come. If you can't, be sure to listen to us on 103.3 The Tiger and live stream on WPKYonline.com. We'll have Bob Hayes and Coach David Barnes on at 6 o'clock. 6:30 will be the pregame show, and then at 7 o'clock it's kickoff as Caldwell County starts district play with Paducah Tillman. That's tomorrow night at Tiger Stadium, so tune in for all the action there. And really looking forward to getting to stay home a weekend, Macy. This will be the first time in a month we've been home for football.
I think I'm going to actually come to that game because I don't work tomorrow night. So
right.
I get to see a football game.
Well, you're welcome to bring your favorite announcer something to drink or some popcorn anytime. Caldwell County's back on the field. Fort Campbell currently coming back out, getting set to start this one. Caldwell will have first possession of the second half.
This was always my favorite half, going in front of the student section was always my favorite. I don't know why. I don't know if it's the fans that get you going a little bit more, but I always had more intensity going that way than I did the opposite.
Really?
I don't
I've
know
never heard
why.
that from you.
I had a favorite side of the field.
And we are underway here with the second half. Ball played back to Freeman. She's going to take it off of a Fort Campbell player. It'll be a throw in for the Lady Tigers right at midfield far sideline. Well, Macy, I hope your preference bleeds over into this 11 on the field tonight, because one goal could go a long way here in this second half.
Yeah, I never asked anybody if they felt the same way, so I'm not really sure if it's just a me thing or if it's an overall thing.
Well, it's pretty neat to know. I've been up here with you for years and coached you and
I always wanted this to
play
be
with my daughter and never knew that you liked that end of the field.
Well, I only liked it when it was second half. I didn't like it first half because I felt like it was just starting and I didn't really have all the momentum that I did. So if it was second half and we were playing it like now, I feel like I had more on the line whenever I was going that way.
The play back to Drew Hadley as Fort Campbell came down. Kelsey Adams played it back to Drew. Now it's still loose inside the 18. Shot on goal off the post, off the side of the post by Fort Campbell. Coming out is Jackson trying to clear this one up the field. She takes it off of the Lady Falcon. It'll be a throw in for the Lady Tigers, but dodging a bullet again. Ball goes sharply off the post. Fort Campbell playing with a little more aggression at midfield. Goffinette scoops it over and takes it to the far sideline, met again by Fort Campbell. Seems like everywhere the Lady Tigers look up tonight, Macy, there's a blue jersey right in their way. Nice header flick looking for Janina. Janina comes in, plays it across, has Taylor Freeman open for the shot, but right at the goalie. I think the two players were actually waiting on the whistle for a foul to be called as one of the players went down. Kind of eased up a little bit. But the deflection is going to come back out. Caldwell County controls at midfield, but a step behind Smiley as Fort Campbell takes charge. They go past again, but there is Young. Gets it back up to Freeman. Freeman got the through ball. It's going to go towards Janina, but right there was Ward, and we've talked about Ward. Jasmine Ward for Fort Campbell, step for step with Janina on that one. Fort Campbell quickly switches fields. This one's going to roll inside the 18, and it'll be escorted right to Drew Thomas, and she'll take the punt. But not her normal kick. And my only extra job of the night, I failed on Mason starting the clock. So
I didn't think about it either.
It's going to be tough on this one.
Just make them play a little bit harder, thinking
maybe
have a little
we'll get
more
a
time.
little bonus soccer tonight. What do you think? Throw in Caldwell County in front of the student section, right to Taylor Freeman. Young with the clear back up towards Janina. Big deflection back out to Jackson. Fort Campbell tried to turn it up the field, goes off the side of their foot. Jackson's going to come over for the throw, gets it into Fletcher. Fletcher puts it to Smiley, one touch back to Laney. Laney with the cross all the way into the middle of the box at the top. Lucy Goffinette has it, pushed from behind, no call on that side. Goffinette with the shot behind the net. But Macy, we saw a lot of contact called earlier in the game, a little less contact than that, as Lucy was kind of pushed as she tried to make the turn.
A little bit of a hip without getting the ball. So, yeah, I probably would have called that as a ref.
And if you know how to do that and it's a physical game, that's a very good talent to have for a defensive player. The goal kick back out. Deflected by Janina. It's going to go out of bounds. And it'll be Fort Campbell throw in. Still no score in this one as we get into this second half. We'll take, just for the sake of argument, we'll take about 5 minutes off the clock for whatever it is. 3, 4. Darren Lewis, our Crackerjack Tech, says 4 minutes and 20 seconds should have come off the clock. So we're down in the neighborhood of 34 minutes left in the ball game. Caldwell County has it to Freeman. Freeman looks up the field, scouts it over. And Macy, you can tell me if I'm wrong on this. The defense really isn't, for Fort Campbell, isn't playing as Ward comes back. Janina had the through ball for a second, but Ward recovered very quickly. We'll get back to the point in a minute. Nice recovery shot by Laney Fletcher, puts it in for Caldwell County.
I kind of got a little bit lost in the game whenever you were asking me something.
Good job by Janina to fight through Ward's block, gets the ball back over towards Laney Fletcher. Laney wraps it just inside the left post for her first goal of the night, so 1-0 Caldwell County. The point I was going after was that Fort Campbell seems like they're not necessarily playing in a spot defensively. They're playing more man-to-man. If Caldwell sends a player across midfield, they're being picked up shoulder to shoulder, and it looks like it's making it hard for Caldwell County to make the passes.
Yeah, I mean, they're playing kind of how we play whenever we play UHA or North Hawkins or Henderson. They're playing a man mark, and they looked at the schedule and they said, hey, here's who gets most of the goals. I want you on top of her the whole game.
Fort Campbell with the kick to start play back up, sends it into the corner and out of bounds. Change of goalies for Caldwell County as Drew Thomas will come out and Caitlin Manley will go in for the Lady Tigers. Throw in deep in the defensive end for Caldwell. Fort Campbell able to take it away, put it near the top of the 18, kicked away. I think that was Young. Now up, double teamed is Goffinette. She tries to get it across midfield. It'll roll out of bounds. It'll be a throw in for the Lady Tigers near midfield far side. Throw in comes to Freeman. Freeman with a nice ball to the corner looking for Goffinette. Goffinette has some room, giving chase is Ward. Now she's double teamed down there. Ward comes in, and Ward just one of the quickest defensive players we've seen all year, maybe the quickest all around that we've seen so far, Macy.
Reminds me of a Paige Young or a Lily out there. I mean, just does not stop. She knows what her job is, and she does it.
Yeah, you can't take a long time if she's coming to pick up defensively. You've got to make a choice, either shoot or get rid of the ball. Ball comes back out as Fletcher's shot is picked up. Out of bounds, far sideline, throw in Fort Campbell. Matea Butt set to check in. Header on the block by Goffinette, takes it to the far sideline once again. And Butts will come into the ball game. And Macy, I'm going to let you take it for just a second while I change glasses. I can finally take these sunglasses off.
Lucy Goffinette's going to come out while Matea Butts goes in. And we have a Caldwell County throw on the far sideline by Sarah Grace. She throws it in, goes to Taylor, head flick to Fort Campbell's goalie. And she's going to punt it out.
Yeah, good job on the play-by-play. I knew you were going to do it at some point.
Makes me nervous.
Great job. Fort Campbell brings it back out. Giving chase is Ginn. As we said, Manley in at goal now for the Lady Tigers.
And she is a very good goalie to not see as much time as a varsity goalie would at her age with Drew being a senior, but she made some great stops the other night, and I think she played the game before that too while Drew was hurt, so she's made some really good stops.
Yeah, Drew's been nursing a high ankle sprain just about the last couple of weeks, and those things can linger. She'll probably have that by the time she plays her last game this season still. Fort Campbell at midfield. They have the ball in between the circles. Still nobody really pressuring the ball defensively for Caldwell County. They play it to the corner and out of bounds. But Macy, the defense was giving them a lot of time there to make a decision on what they wanted to do.
They have a little bit of a habit of stepping back, and it helps not stabbing, but it also doesn't really help whenever you need to step to the ball.
Looks like Meriden completely recovered off of that ankle injury in the first half because she had a player on her back and she got possession on that one. Nice layover from Freeman to Janina, but picked off by Fort Campbell. Smiley got away with a little push at midfield as they come down looking for Butts. Fort Campbell's going to kick this one out of bounds as the Lady Falcon player stays on the ground. And the player has to come out. Pookie Traylor set to check in for the Lady Tigers at the next opportunity and hopefully score a couple of goals. And that's number 4. I think that was Cervantes. If I'm not mistaken, Macy, is she's going to come out of the ball game.
I don't remember what hers was.
I've got it here somewhere. I've kind of scattered everything together. No, it's number 4, Jordan Hardy. I don't know how I could forget that name. She dominated the first half from
Yeah, she
Fort
did.
Campbell. So she'll go to the sideline and a little bump with Smiley. Ball goes towards the goal, picked up by the keeper. Punt from the 18, low line drive, bounces about 25 yards out. Again, went for possession, picked it up over to Smiley. Smiley looks for Freeman. Freeman back to McKenzie. McKenzie puts the ball up, looking for Fletcher. Fletcher with a nice left-footed shot, up and in. Saw that developing the whole way, Macy, as Fletcher puts her second goal of the night in.
She's got a good left foot shot, and she knows when to use it.
Nice pass from Smiley on that one. That one developed very well, and that is probably precisely what Coach Jacobs was looking for since the opening tip tonight. Caldwell County able to work middle of the field over, not necessarily to the sideline, but at a pretty good angle for Smiley. Smiley able to take it through the defensive line, and Laney Fletcher in perfect position, and like you said earlier, a great left foot. So Caldwell County comes back. Fort Campbell puts it in play, stolen away by the Lady Tigers, now playing with a little more pep as Fletcher goes down, but the ball comes right back to Freeman. Freeman switches sides looking for Butts over her head, but good job by Matea to come back and get it to Carnahan. Carnahan with a big lob again looking for Fletcher. She's got her at the 18, tried to hit it towards the goal. Good charge by Traylor, but picked up by the keeper for Fort Campbell. Much better kick, bounces, and it's going to go out of bounds. It'll be a throw in just under the broadcast booth by Jackson. Jackson over to Fletcher. One touch to Smiley, back to Fletcher. Fletcher lays the ball in front of the net. Again, Pookie Traylor right there doing a good job charging the goal, but picked up by the keeper. That's the hustle you get out of Pookie, a very fast player, but if she thinks she can crash that goal and pick up one, she's going to be one of the Tigers that you'll probably never have to tell Pookie to crash the goal. Good job by Fletcher. Gets it over to Freeman. Freeman back in the corner looking again for Fletcher. Fort Campbell kicks it out of bounds. It'll be a throw in for the Lady Tigers. Janana's going to come into the ball game. Maybe next throw. Fort Campbell takes the steal. Good job by Taylor Freeman to get it back. Look for Ginn. Again, a little late getting to the ball. She recovers, gets possession back for Caldwell County, touches it over to Butts. Butts back to Freeman. Freeman able to look up, and she wants that ball back. Macy, I can tell by the way she looks. She had plenty of time, nobody around her, and it kind of rolled up her ankle.
Just a bad look, but she did have a really good look, and she had the time there.
Hannah Young over to Carnahan. Out of bounds, throw in the midfield for the Fort Campbell Lady Falcons. We're about 25 minutes or so left in the first half, or in the second half rather. Caldwell County leads this one 2-0. This one, Macy, the one?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh.
Ball back out to midfield. We didn't tell them we double our pay to work scoreboard, did we? Maybe that was it. Gets it over to Pookie. Pookie out of a crowd, gets it over to Fletcher. Great job by Pookie to put that ball out. Fletcher comes up, but a nice come out by the keeper for Fort Campbell. Pookie Traylor surrounded by 3 people. I don't know how she got the ball even out to Laney Fletcher, but a great play by those 2. And a good job by Jackson. Patient play defensively by McKenna Jackson. Gets the ball down towards the goal. Pookie is down in the box.
He's gonna.
Whistle is blown.
Not sure which way he's gonna call it. I think it PK though.
It was inside the 18 clearly when Pookie went down.
Yep, PK.
So it is a penalty kick for Caldwell County. Good job by Traylor.
Oh, maybe
and
not.
He's going to switch the call back. And it is going to go to Fort Campbell.
I don't know now.
Well,
he's switching his.
He pointed again. Now we're going to get back, and it is going to be a penalty kick.
All right.
Caldwell County. Now we've settled on the penalty kick. Let's see if we can settle on a player to take it. I think Coach Jacobs is going to give it to Pookie for the effort. And I hope Pookie, you don't mind going by Pookie on the radio. Alyssa Traylor. Set for the kick. Referee's whistle. Shot over and in. Traylor moves the lead out to 3. And a good job by Caldwell County on that one. We thought from the beginning, Macy, that it was going to be penalty kick. We had a little indecision from the referee on what they were going to do, but good job by Pookie to be physical inside the 18, gets taken down. And Caldwell County has put 3 up on the board here in the second half to take a 3-0 lead over Fort Campbell. Mass substitutions now for the Lady Tigers. You got McEnany in at midfield with Freeman. Front line consisting of Goffinette, Traylor, and Fletcher. Young, Carnahan, McDaniels, and Adams in the back, along with Meriden Janina now defensively for the Lady Tigers. Good job by Meriden. Looks far sideline for Goffinette. Leads are just a little too far out of bounds. Throw in for Fort Campbell. Macy, a little breathing room now, and like you said, it's not just this game. Caldwell County through this season, I have to agree with you, historically a second half team.
I used to hate second half teams. UK basketball was a second half team one year, and it would kill me. And my grandmother would probably say the same. Her nerves were probably going crazy, but I think it's just realizing that you're playing a soccer game. It's not for fun right now. You're actually playing, and that's a little hard sometimes.
Nice through ball from Fletcher, looking for Taylor Freeman. Good play by Ward to get that back out for Fort Campbell. Giving chase is McEnany. Good job by McDaniels to come up and deflect the pass. One touch ball back across midfield by Adams on the long ball. Gets up to Goffinette. This one's going to go into the stands for a souvenir, and let's see, Caldwell County will have the throw. Macy, if the Lady Tigers were confused at all in the first half about their style of play, as Fletcher puts a shot on goal, took a bad hop and goes in. Hat trick for Fletcher. About 20 minutes left in the ball game. Fletcher fortunate to get her hat trick, misplayed by the keeper for Fort Campbell. Took a bad hop, had a lot of spin, had a lot of top spin on it, and the ball found the back of the net. And even if she had to try to get to it, Pookie Traylor was right there to crash, so that was going in one way or the other.
Right, which is, that's the forward's job, is crash the ball every time, no matter what, even if you don't think that you're going to be able to get a touch on the ball.
So whatever Coach Jacobs told the girls at halftime, I think he tried to tell them during the water break in the first half, but it really got through at halftime as these girls have come out with some offensive pressure and open up a 4-goal lead with about 19 minutes left in the first half. Ball at midfield. This will be a good time for us to take a break, so we'll take 30 seconds and be back. You're listening to Lady Tiger Soccer on WPKY.
Howdy, folks. Colonel Sanders from KFC here with some real news. My delicious, world-famous original recipe fried chicken is available at a KFC near you. It has been and will be until the end of time. No matter what's happening in the world, you can trust that my original recipe chicken is always made with the lemon herbs and spices. Many unnamed sources agree. It's delicious. Get it in a KFC $10 chicken share and enjoy it with a friend. KFC, it's still finger-licking good. Limited time offer. Participating KFCs, prices may vary. Tax and substitutions extra.
Welcome back to Butler Stadium. Second part of the second half underway here at Butler. Dennis Stevens, Macy Janina with you, along with Darren Lewis tonight. Caldwell County leads this one 4-0 after a scoreless first half by both teams. Caldwell County has come out, hat trick by Laney Fletcher, and an additional goal by Pookie Trailer has put Caldwell County on the lead 4-0. You've got Jackson, Smiley, and Ginn coming into the ball game. Freeman, Trailer, and Carnahan coming out.
I think he went back to a 2 forward, I think. That's what it looks like. I think he did with Taylor and Alyssa up there for a few minutes as well.
So Janina, a very versatile player, played some defense for a while here in the second half. She's gone back to the front line for Caldwell County. Up to Fletcher. Fletcher has it deflect off the shin. Good bump move by Smiley. Fort Campbell kicks it out of bounds. It'll be a throw-in, Lady Tigers.
Meriden, much different than I was. I was never a defensive player. Never, ever.
You scored a lot of goals being a forward for Caldwell County.
I think
Still
me and
like
Cortland.
number 5 on the list.
I think so. I think me and Cortland played defense one game. She played goalie.
I remember that.
And I played sweeper. And I'm sure you could hear us yelling at the ball, like, oh my gosh, it's coming, the ball's coming, no, 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 we don't want it.
You two were talking pretty much like a Little League or Pony League baseball team who will chatter at a batter during the ball game while they're out in the field. That's what you two sounded like.
Yep.
She was talking to everybody from goal, and then you joined right in, and it was so comical.
Definitely way out of our comfort zones on those.
One of the great memories, though. You make some good memories. You make some good friendships through years of high school soccer. And this one's going to go out of bounds. Hope it'll bounce off the roof, and does not.
Lost
that
the
one
ball.
hangs up. And it's going to be a throw-in Fort Campbell right in front of their bench. They are going towards the Main Street end here at Butler Stadium in the second half. Ginn comes up. Wanted to find Fletcher, picked off by Fort Campbell. Good job by Morgan McDaniels to force the issue on that one. She rattled the Fort Campbell player enough to get a throw-in for her squad. Good throw-in, good settle by Mackenzie Smiley. Gets it up to Fletcher. Fletcher with a big through ball. Nobody home for Caldwell County in the center. But there's Janina to come back out. Puts the shot on goal. And a dangerous play by Fort Campbell. Really don't understand that when they had all the room in the world and tried to turn it right back to the middle and actually gave it up to Janina. The ball's going to bounce out to midfield. Jackson there defensively for the Lady Tigers. Puts the good hip check in, has it for a minute. Now a big dance going on the far sideline. Fort Campbell will win that one and throw it in from the far side midfield stripe. Lady Falcons now on the run. They get it down to the top of the 18 on the right. Shot on goal, wide to the right. Goal kick coming up for the Lady Tigers. We're going to have a big weekend this weekend as they will go to Bowling Green for the Warren Central Invitational, I think it is called. Oh, Lady Dragons Classic is what it's called. So that will be at Warren Central. And it's 2 games on Saturday and 1 game on Sunday for the Lady Tigers. This one's going to come up to Manley. She'll pick that one up just at the top of the 6. And a nice kick out by Manley. Is going to take it near midfield looking for God.